Hello, everyone. It is my first time doing this solo. Actually, I haven't done this solo in a couple of years. So I am Violette Ayala. I'm the founder of FemCIty, and you're joining me today for a special Wednesday series. We're going to talk about preparing for 2022. I've got this worksheet that I created last week. It is free. So even if you are not a FemCIty member, you can head over to femcity.com. And at the bottom of the website, we have all of our worksheets there available. And you can just click on either the blog article or the worksheet, and you can download this yourself. So if you want to pause this, if you're watching the replay, pause this, head over to FemCIty, download the worksheet, and then you can do it with me. And my intention with creating the worksheet is I spent so many years tackling goals and coming up short and then feeling frustrated and filled with anxiety and like feeling bummed about myself. And so I really worked on how to be successful with creating goals and attaining goals and how to add more goals to your plate. Doing it also, of course, in a way that is loving and positive and giving yourself grace and peace along the way. So I created this worksheet with that intention. I want to help all women create a beautiful 2022. So I'm going to walk you through the worksheet because it's a lot, it's 3 pages. And it's going to help you formulate your goals and it's going to help you achieve your goals for this year. It's going to help you not only formulate your goals, but also create the action steps that are in place. And this is pretty much based on the philosophy that I use with our accountability program. So we run a FemCity accountability program 5 times a year. We're doing it for the month of January. We'll do it again in March. And it's really what I work on with our students when we do the accountability program. So I'm going to go ahead and start on page 1. And if you have any questions, feel free to post them here. And again, if you want to head over to the FemCity website and download or at least look at it while I'm going through this, that's probably a little bit easier so that you can kind of see where I'm at. And oh, thank you for the love. I got some love already. This is going to be great. Awesome. I'm so happy. I was kind of nervous about doing this by myself. Usually I have some global members with me. So first of all, let's start with page 1. So page 1 is going to help to warm us up as anything when you're doing this worksheet together with me together or on your own. You want to make sure that you have your phone off. You want to make sure that the kids or the dogs, even though my dog is behind me napping right now, hopefully he stays that way. You want to make sure that you're in a quiet space, right? In a place to connect with yourself. If you're doing this worksheet and it's noisy and it's hectic, you're not going to get anything out of it. So just take the time, designate 10 minutes, 15 minutes. You're totally worth 10, 15 minutes and spend time with this worksheet. We're going to warm up and we're going to kind of see where we are now and where we want to be at the end of 22. And so these are some ways that we can go ahead and start getting creative when it comes to setting up our goals. The first part is, what are 3 words that come to mind when you think about your superhero strengths? So if you've read my book and if you've been watching me for a while, you know that I believe that we all have superhero strengths. And these are the components of our personalities, the talents that we give to this world that are really unique and different to us. As an example, I think my superhero strength is the ability to connect with people, feel either their pain or their glorious self, being very empathetic for them, and getting connected to them in a kind of like a more spiritual kind of way. So that is definitely one of my superhero strengths. I'm that person that I'll be sitting at a park bench and someone will just come up to me and just share all their secrets and then walk away. So that is definitely a blessing and a strength that I have. So if I was doing this worksheet, I would write down, natural connector might be one of my superhero strengths. And think about the 3 words that come to mind when you're thinking about your superhero strength. You might be saying to yourself, I don't have any, Violet. I don't have any superhero strengths. Superhero strengths. You do. Everyone does. So put down the 3 words that come to mind. What are those things that people are always saying, wow, you're so good at this? Or what are those things that when you do an action, that fills you up, that it makes you feel so happy and joyous? Those are generally going to be geared around your superhero strengths. So write down those 3 for the first part of the worksheet. The second part of the worksheet is What are the three ways that describe how you can serve and help others through your superhero strengths noted above? So, just like you noted those three above, and of course, you're probably going to have to pause and take time to think about the other two, right? I'm kind of rushing through this, but definitely pause this until you do the three words and then you go to the second part two. So, thinking about how you can take your superhero strengths and help others. Maybe you're really good at marketing. Maybe that's like something that you're just really great at, or maybe you're really good at interviewing people and your podcast is something that you want to go ahead and like really develop. Those are great superhero strengths. How can you use those to serve the world? How can you use those to help people live a better life or grow a stronger business or just be more joyous? We all have these beautiful greatness I guess, components, right? Attributes of ourselves that we can help others. So that's what you're going to write for part two. You're going to go ahead and spend time writing the ways that you can actually take your superhero strengths and use that to help those around you, your clients, your patients, or maybe your friends. Part three, so now we're at the bottom of this. Part three is you're going to close your eyes and take a few moments to connect to who you truly are. Sometimes when I'm working with women, either in a one on one or in a group setting, and I've been working with women for decades. I owned a Pilates studio for about 10 years. I only trained women. And then, of course, I started FemCIty. We're on year 12 right now. So I think a lot of times we don't really know who we truly are. We think we are these things that people labeled us as, but often those are not really who we truly are. We need to get connected to that place of who we truly are in order to create a beautiful life that's authentic and true to ourselves. So allow all the self-limiting beliefs to exit your mind and allow the image of your grandest self to emerge. We've done this as a meditation in some of our retreats. So if you've been on one of the FemCity retreats, it's probably sounds very familiar. And but you can do this meditation where you just center yourself. You know, you can picture the word love above you and then start envisioning. You can even ask your guides to present to you this grandest self to emerge. And when you see this grandest self of you, take notice. What are you wearing? What are you doing? Who are you hanging out with? What's the work that's coming to mind? That is a really strong meditation that you can do. And I'm happy to just create that as a class for you guys if you want. But take note of the three things that stick out in your mind when you do that meditation, because that's going to be the true essence of who you are. And so, as you can see, these three things that we worked on are going to really kind of bring together your superhero strengths, the way you're going to serve the world, and then you're going to piece in together that highest version of yourself, which is the most connected to your greatness, right? The power that we bring to the world. So that's page one. I don't see any questions. So I'm going to keep on going. Oops, I lost. Okay, let me see. There's some comments that came through. Oh, I love this. I'm going to share this. Okay. So after 4 years of working for someone else, I'm so glad to be back in this community as I launch my new bookkeeping business. I've missed being around so many strong women in business. Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing and would love to do that meditation. Okay. I will do it in February because we already did our curriculum for January, but I will add it to my list to do that meditation as a class for us in February. You got it. Okay. So now we're on page two. And remember, I told you this is a lengthy worksheet because it's lots of work that we have to do. So now we're going to start to create our homework, right? Our plan, our strategy. And that's what page two is all about. We're going to put all these pieces together because you're probably thinking, okay, I've got all these pieces, but now what? The first part is the ideal way to curate and craft a great year is to take the components you noted on page one. This will be your roadmap. So you will keep this handy. You will keep this either in your office desk or in your folder or in your handbag. Keep it handy because it's going to keep you in alignment. It's going to keep you from saying yes to opportunities that don't align. It's going to help you say no, rather no to those things that don't align, yes to those things that do align. And you'll refer back to this often. So you're going to take, I wrote down number 1 through 12. And obviously 1 through 12 correlate with the months of the year. And you're going to go ahead and think about your goals. What are 3 goals that you have in mind for 2022? If you're part of our FemCIty accountability program, you know that I never say goals. I always say goal one at a time because the mind can only focus on one thing at a time. But for this exercise, since we're talking about 12 months, we're going to go ahead and think about the 3 goals that we have for 2022. And so let's say you want to be a best-selling author, because I know a lot of our members want that for 2022. You would go ahead and some of the action steps would be writing a chapter a week, finding an editor, an illustrator, a publisher, a PR person. So some of those are like action steps that you would need in order to accomplish your goal. Once you've created those action steps that you need, you're going to plug them into the correlating months. You're going to backtrack, right? So if you know that month 12, you want to go ahead and have your goal achieved, you're going to go ahead and backtrack to see like how many chapters do I have to write in order to get there? When do I need to find that illustrator? And I'm using that as an example. It could be for your personal reasons as well. It could be if you want to write, if you want to go ahead and do online classes, if you want to be a life coach, it can be used for many things, real estate agent, yoga instructor. But the idea is that you think about the action steps and then you formulate it in a way that you can then follow it as it was a guide, a design map, if you will. So that is number 2. That's definitely going to take you a lot more time when you do it on your own. I'm rushing through this, but it should take you probably, I would say, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I would say, because you're really going to think about what you have to do, and then you have to piece them in together into your calendar. So once you've created your summary of action steps for all 3 of your goals, start to place them in the lines, right? So you're going to start either from the bottom to the top, or you can start from the top to the bottom. I like doing the end goal and then kind of backtracking to say, okay, if I want to be a best-selling author by December, that book needs to be out by such and such. And then I need to have written by such and such date. And then I have to have found someone to, so I kind of do it that way. But some people do goals the other way. They say, if I have to do this by the end of the year, these are the steps that I need in order to get there. Both ways work. After that, here's the secret to getting your goals. You guys know I'm a huge fan of time blocks. My whole life is a time block. I have time blocks of when I'm on phone calls. I have time blocks when I check email, when I'm on social media. That's what makes it so that I can do so much and also have some downtime. So you're going to take those action steps and you're going to actually add them into your calendar as time blocks. These are going to be meetings that you contractually have with yourself. So using that example, if you wanted to be a best-selling author, you would go ahead and write down the action steps of writing, right? Researching perhaps into your calendar as time blocks, and you're not allowed to cancel them for whatever reason. You have to keep those in your calendar. Most of the time, when our femmes don't attain their goals, it's because they didn't plan those details. They think about the vision, they manifest, right? So they spend a lot of time in that high vibration, but then they don't plan those details. And that's really the secret to getting your goals created and actually coming to life. Thinking about what the action plans are that are proven, right? You know for sure if you write, you for sure you have to do that if you want to be a best-selling author. So you're going to go ahead and take those action steps and put them in time blocks in your calendar. It could be from 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. Monday through Friday, because you have a full-time job. It could be Saturday and Sunday from 9 to 3 p.m. It doesn't matter where the time blocks are or when it is. It's going to be at a time that you have nothing else going on, right? Like that you're not in carpool with the kids, or you're not your full-time job, or you're not on vacation. You're going to set yourself up for success. So think about those time blocks and put them into your calendar in 2-hour time blocks or 1-hour time blocks. It doesn't matter. You just have to put them in, because that's also contractual, right? Just like if you had a doctor's appointment and you wouldn't break it, or a hair appointment, or a nail appointment, or a yoga class, you wouldn't break it. You're not going to break this, because you are amazing, because you're going to achieve your goal this year, because you're putting yourself first, you're prioritizing yourself. So the last piece of creating your roadmap is you're going to add a weekly 30-minute time block to review your progress. Another thing that I see with femmes when they don't achieve their goals is that they start out really strong. So January is really, really strong. And then February kind of fizzles, and then March kind of fizzles. And then all of a sudden we're in December and societal pressures are telling us that we should be looking at our goals. And then we feel upset, anger, anxiety. Maybe we get a little depressed because we haven't done much in that year. The secret to that is to do a weekly check-in, right? You're just going to do a weekly check-in. Maybe you do post-it notes on your computer or in your office that reminds you of where you're going. You want to check in and say, how did I do this week? And with love, right? With love and positivity. It's not a time to bash yourself. It's not a time to say ugly words about yourself. It's a time to say, really honestly, did I do the best that I could? Did I follow those time blocks? Did I commit to doing the things that I need to do? Could I do better? If you do a weekly check-in with yourself, you can then redirect your action. You can then tweak it so that you become more powerful when it comes to your goals. So that is really a great piece when it becomes, when we talk about creating a beautiful year that's filled of accomplishments and filled of things that you want to go ahead and attain. You got to do those check-ins, just like you go to the doctor, right? I go to the doctor every 6 months for my blood work. I've got Hashimoto's, so I have to go in every 6 months. I go to the dentist every 6 months too, right? So just like we do the check-ins with our health, we do the same thing with our business goals. We're just going to check in to make sure that we're on track. Can we do better? Can we tweak? Can we forgive ourselves? Right? Because sometimes we're holding in like, oh, I'm such a bad person because I didn't do what I said I was going to do, and I'm such a loser, and I'm such a failure. That doesn't help. That doesn't help you. So instead, just give yourself grace and love and say, you know what? I didn't do so well this week. Next week, I'm going to do better. And that will really help. So that is it for today. Let me see if there are any questions. This is so what I've been looking for. This is so helpful with goal planning. Excellent. All right, so just as a reminder, it is a 3-page worksheet. It is free over at femcity.com. Just go to the homepage at the bottom, and it's called the New Year's Eve worksheet. This is my note to do the meditation that was requested, so I'll do that. And let me know what you create. Keep in touch. I want to hear about your success. So tag me, message me, DM me. I want to cheer you on if you're posting this. I know some of you did it with your kids this past weekend. I loved getting tagged in that. So if you are doing it as an activity with friends, also please share it. I created it to be shared. So I want all women to achieve their goals. And if there's anything else that I can do to support you, please, please, please let me know. I'm here for you. We're all here for you as well. And thank you so much, Arlie, for the love. I appreciate that. Arlie is one of our global members from DC, from the DC area, and so grateful. So again, let me know how it goes. Keep in touch. Create your goals, right? Think about your superhero talents, how it serves the world. Think about your highest version of yourself, who you truly are. Create your 3 goals, action plans, put them in place, put them in your time blocks, do the weekly check-ins. You've got this. It's going to be a great year. I'm so happy and proud of you. You guys made it through, and it's going to rock this year. Love you guys. Bye.